Hello, beautiful people. I am Xavius, Praylow, empowering you to life. So from the title of this video, it is going to be what to do when you're feeling overwhelmed. If I'm looking to the left, it just means that I'm referencing my notes because I definitely want to stay on track. And also before I kind of go into detail of what I personally do to overcome like the feeling of anxiety or overwhelm overcome the feeling of overwhelmness, I guess. I'm not an expert, I'm not a therapist. Like some of this stuff, like I did do a little research on, but most of this is what I'm about to share is literally from personal experience. And I just hope that you find value in it. And if you do, take what you can, and if you don't, then share it, and maybe somebody else can find value in it. Also, if you do find value in it, you do hop on and you're live, go ahead and drop some hearts below if you feel that what I'm sharing is of value. I know like overwhelmness, anxiety, all like fears and stuff is something that everybody deals with. If you're human and you're breathing, you definitely probably deal with it in life. So I just thought that this was very important to talk about, especially because I had like a revelation literally yesterday, and so I was like, you know what, I feel like this is something that other people may be dealing with, so I wanted to share it with you. So with all that being said, we feel overwhelmed, anxious, etc. when we feel stressed, fearful, or when we're in danger in situations as such. I don't want to be very scientific or go too much in detail about anxiety or emotions in this video. I do plan to do a video on emotions and a separate video on anxiety in the future. But with this video, I want to share my therapeutic reliefs when I feel overwhelmed. All in all, to give you like a little bit of insight and background on anxiety, stress, fear, and feeling of overwhelm, etc. And those emotions, they come from the release of cortisol, and that's pretty much is when you distracted me. Okay, let me read that again. All in all, to give you like insight on anxiety, stress, fear, the feeling of overwhelmness, and etc. Like those emotions come from the release of cortisol, which is the body's main stress hormone. It's our nature's built-in alarm system that works with certain parts of our brain to control mood, motivation, and emotions such as fear. So when you're having reactions like of anxiety or nervousness or whatever, fear, whatever, cortisol surges through the body and it have you feeling overloaded with those intense emotions. Let me keep going. I'm going to name a few reasons. These are not all reasons why people like feel overwhelmed, but here are a few reasons why you may be feeling overwhelmed or you have felt overwhelmed in the past. And it could be due to lack of self-awareness and mindfulness, expecting yourself to be perfect, depletion of self-care, and then that can show itself if you're running on empty, if you're not consistent in your self-care routine, or if you're just not loving on yourself enough, if you're not like taking breaks and just taking care of you, if you're not setting healthy boundaries for yourself, from yourself or others, if it's just too much noise and notifications going on in your life. You got all these emails and messages and to-dos and just a lot of alerts going on, or setting unrealistic expectations for yourself. Now, my main issue is that I tend to set extreme goals for myself, and sometimes I'll set goals without detailed plans. And let me tell you, that just stressed me out. I'll just say, oh, I'm going to do this, and I don't even really think it through. But in my mind, I'm going to get that goal like done. And it literally just stresses me out because I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this and I know I want this goal, but I don't like really, it's not realistic because I didn't break it down. So I'm especially stressed out when my actions aren't aligned with my goals. So for example, like I'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. But then, I go all day and I didn't do anything to work or accomplish that goal, I get stressed out. Like, it's just so crazy. What I said, setting unrealistic expectations for yourself, and then just lack of self-awareness. Like, let me tell you. Another example would be I'm supposed to be in bed every night by 10:30 p.m. so I can have early mornings to get my day started and get things done. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not always consistent at doing that, because normally I end up going live between 9 and 11 p.m. because going live is a new part of my routine. And so then I get stressed out and I start feeling overwhelmed because I'm like, oh, why did I procrastinate to go live? Oh, excuse me. And all in all, because I didn't want to do the live. And then I'm like, okay, Xaye, well, why didn't you want to do the live? And I'm like, well, because going live, and this isn't just something that, like, you don't get the answers right away, but literally it's after thinking and like it keeps happening. But then I came to the conclusion, the reason why I personally am learning to get, like, going live is something that I have to, like, think about and I have to, like, prepare for, because, like, literally expressing yourself, or expressing myself authentically, can be very, very, very uncomfortable. But in order to follow my success plan, I know it is something that I must do. So I usually do it. Like, I usually do go live, but now it's like, okay, Xaye, do live where you're supposed to go live. So I'm like, getting in the habit, or like preparing myself to be able to go live at the time I'm supposed to go live. And I ain't gonna tell y'all because I don't want y'all looking for me. But so when I'm exceptionally overwhelmed, I realize that I do have to slow down and think, and I bump up my self-care routine, and I'll, like, meditate, I'll pray, I'll sit, I'll think, talk to myself, and breathe. But one thing that I realized that really helps me, and it's kind of weird, is I clean up and I organize. Like, I know that sounds really, really random, but I love cleanliness, and I love things being where they're supposed to be. So one of my resets is to tidy up, and to tidy up something that's on my to-do list. It can be the kitchen or the bathroom, my dresser, my wallet, or even notes and pictures in my phone. It's just so soothing and relaxing to me, and while doing it, I realized, like, I'm so focused that without effort, I don't worry about anything else. Like, I literally am in the moment cleaning up, because I guess it's just something I enjoy doing. And like I said, it's very calming to me, but I do feel like I'm still productive, because, like, if you're cooking and you're, like, you have to eat, and I don't know, for me, like, having, like, my house and my room and everything organized, it, like, clears up the space and the energy around me, and so I feel like free, and I feel like I can breathe whenever my room is clean, or like my wallet's, like, organized. I just feel really good, and it helps me, like, feel like my life is getting together. So those things, even though it is calming and it's like, it could be seen as a chore, I still feel like I'm very productive. But sometimes, like, my mind is just, like, all over the place. So if I do need a distraction, because my mind is chattering, I'll play, like, some personal development or listen to an audiobook, and then I'll use that to help me focus, like, while I'm cleaning up or cooking. And usually that helps. Like, I'll listen to E.T. or one of my industry's mentor, or Jim Rohn, or I'll just listen to something that it's going to, like, feed me, or, like, just something that, something that, like, helps me, like, grow. Normally it's personal development, or it's like, sometimes, you have your YouTube people, so I'll listen to them every now and again. But 3 ways that maybe can help you figure it out when you are feeling overwhelmed, is just think, like, just literally sit and think, like, get quiet. And I say meditate, but it doesn't have to be like the yoga, because I know some people are kind of like, meditate, that's those, like, those free people's thing. But, like, literally, when I say meditate, literally just sitting and thinking. Well, meditation is more so not thinking, but literally, like, sitting in stillness and silence, And ask support from your higher power, your creator, if you are spiritual, your higher source and your ancestors. Literally, like, think your own thoughts to try to figure out a way to heal yourself. At first, it could be very difficult. When I first started meditating, or just trying to be more mindful and sitting in silence, like, it was hard, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta sit here. It was very difficult. So it does take time. So just playing like 5 minutes a day, or even try it for 60 seconds, you'll really realize like the value of a minute, because it's a long time, like, when you're very mindful, or dedicate a few hours a week, where you're just alone and you literally can think, like, literally come up with your own thoughts, not something that somebody put in your head, or something that somebody else told you. Like, literally think your own thoughts and just sit and think and try to figure out, like, why am I having these emotions? Why am I always reacting like this? And then ask yourself, like, how can I overcome this, or why am I? And then literally your subconscious will literally help you figure out, and one day it'll hit you and you'll be like, oh snap. But depending on how deeply suppressed the reason is and how chronic it is, this may result in a longer healing process, but embrace it. I personally believe that in life, and what life is about mastering ourselves and loving on ourselves. Another option, so that was number one, is to think, and just think and sit, and just like allow yourself to process why you are having those emotions. Number two would be write or journal it out. Like, literally just let it out on paper. Don't be judgmental to stop yourself. Like, literally let it flow. Like, I don't know if you have a journal or just random piece of paper. Just get it and write it out and let it flow. And if you are kind of uncomfortable with it, you can burn it right after, or put it in the toilet and nobody else can ever find it, or you can lose it, or you won't lose it. I try to write every morning, and I find out some crazy things about myself. And I used to actually get really embarrassed at some of my thoughts, but I just get everything out on paper, and I just let it flow. I love journaling because I can be real and honest, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's my therapist, because literally it's me and my thoughts and my paper, and I'm just going at it. It's so healthy for me, and it allows me to just love. Oh, hold on. And it allows me to, it's so healthy for me, and it allows me to just love on my boyfriend more whenever I speak to him. And I just want to give him a clap, because he is so amazing. Like, literally, like, he like helps me through a lot of things, and I'll get to that one in a minute. But journaling, when I journal more, I realize, like, I'm not just dumping all my baggage on him. Because if I don't journal, I have all these thoughts, and then whenever he and I get on the phone, I'm literally just like trying to have him help me through my thoughts, or talk to him about this and that. But whenever I journal, it's like I normally like heal myself and come up with resolutions myself without having to talk to him. So then whenever we do talk, I can focus on him and our relationship, and also our goals and dreams. So that's why I say it's so healthy for me, because instead of bringing him into my made up drama, literally we can talk about more important things in ourselves and our relationship, which is, yeah. Another method to journaling is, this is something that it's new to me, and it's something that I would like to attempt to do on a weekly basis, but video journaling. And I made it up. Excuse me. I didn't like get it from anybody, but literally I just record myself talking, and it just feels so good to be raw and to get things out. I don't know why I'm burping. It's probably because I had my kombucha. I don't know if y'all drink kombucha. I love kombucha, and it got me burping right now. But yeah, literally I'll just do a video, normally about 10 minutes, and I'll just talk. And sometimes whenever I do it, I'm like, oh, I don't even have anything to say. But then I'll just start talking, and then it sounds crazy, but it feels really good to just get things out and be raw. And sometimes I'll re-listen to it, and I'll just find aha moments. I get so many epiphanies just from talking freely and then to just hear myself, it's like, oh, it's just like putting a puzzle together. So you can either journal, like writing journal, or video journal. So I found that to be helpful. A third thing to try to figure out like why you feel overwhelmed is to talk to a friend. And that's what I was saying about my boyfriend. I felt like it's nothing he said. He's very, very, very supportive. Hey everybody. But this is just something that I just know that it wasn't good. Like, it's not good for him to try to help me figure things out. Like, some things you need to figure out on your own. But definitely talk with a friend, but not too much, because everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's on their own path and their own journey. So they have their own stuff going on too. Plus, it's our mission to figure out our life, and we must go inside ourselves. Or we can hire a therapist. I feel like this is so underrated, but if you definitely need someone to help organize your thoughts and understand yourself, go to a professional. They have credible, unbiased advice. So those were the three things of maybe three ways to help you kind of figure out, why you're feeling overwhelmed. Number one was to think, literally just think it through, like why you feel like that. Number two, journal, whether it's writing or doing a video journal. And number three is like talking to a friend or a therapist. After figuring out what's causing you the feeling of overwhelmness, I'd recommend you to just let yourself feel it. So after you kind of feel like, okay, this is probably the reason or the cause of why I feel overwhelmed, I would say just embrace it. Whether it's the fear or the anxiety, the nervousness, etc. Like, literally, like, just feel it. Like, it's a part of your journey. Like, embrace it, because obviously avoiding the emotion is not the solution to overcome these emotions. And I feel like that's like an issue in our society is, we just, we suppress stuff, or we don't feel emotions. Like, we literally just ignore our emotions. And I don't think it's healthy, like, not to express that part of yourself. Like, embrace it, feel sad. Like, if you are going through a depression, and I'm gonna do a video on this one day too. Like, if you are feeling like, okay, I'm depressed, okay, feel depressed, as long as you don't stay there. If you feel like you're stay there and you can't shake it, then you go get help, or you reach out for help. But feel it, embrace it. It's just an emotion. Normally you can overcome it. I mean, obviously you have other things going on, then it may be more difficult. You may need some extra help, but literally just feel it. So hold on. So what I do is I choose to grow through these emotions. I don't know if I said, obviously avoiding the emotions is not the solution to overcome these emotions. So what I do is I choose to grow through these emotions. This also makes me aware of my triggers. Like, oh, I didn't meditate, or maybe I just need to focus on a specific chakra. Like, quick example. Well, you know what? I'll talk about that in a different video. But I realized, like, if I'm not being authentic, or if I'm like holding back, not that I'm being fake, but like literally if I'm holding back and I'm not, for instance, expressing myself, I feel like blockages in different chakras. So like, the more you like feel and embrace your journey, or at least for me, I just feel like I'm more mindful of my triggers, and I'm more mindful of, okay, maybe I need to meditate a little bit more, or maybe I need to write something a little bit more. So these are my suggestions. I am not an expert. I am not a therapist or a professional, but these approaches have helped me, and I wanted to share them with you in hopes that you can find value in them. Now, for those of you who have ever felt overwhelmed, and I know if you are a human and you're breathing, I'm pretty sure at some point in your life you have definitely felt overwhelmed. I'm just curious, like, what do you do for yourself to get out of that, or to, deal with that emotion? And what do you find? Oh, and also, like, for the people who made it this far in the video, first of all, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. But what do you find, what did you find from this video that you feel like you could implement in your life? Like, what did you find that you're like, oh, that's a good idea, I never thought about that, but that's something I want to add to my routine, or I want to implement to my life? If you found value, whether it's for yourself or for a friend, definitely go ahead and share this. Drop some hearts below, show your girl some love. And again, I just really hope you found value, and I hope that you can share this with somebody else and they find value, so we can literally learn how to life together. Love, inspire, feel, express. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great night.